Awesome, made it happen, guys. Sorry, I'm a little bit late today. I originally was gonna try to get this live stream going on my computer today, but I was having some trouble getting that going. So just quickly set up my cell phone here real quick, doing the live stream on the phone per usual. Coming at you live here in Denver. What's up, guys? What's up, In Motion? What's up, Supreme? Got about 26 people on already. Heck yeah. What's up, Craig? What's up, Josepha? Jordan, Matt? Hey, what's going on, guys? Erica, hey, you made it. What's up, guys? So glad you could join me today. So, per usual, just here for the weekly Monday 2 p.m. live stream. Thank you guys so much for joining me. As usual, if you got any questions, go ahead, start leaving them in the comments. I'll be trying to answer as many of your questions as I can today. The Jesse Show, what's up, dude? Matt, Ben, Pietro, what's up, guys? Xander, hey, man. Cool. So, let's get these questions going. I'm just going to give you a quick update as to kind of what I've been up to here in Denver recently. Alicia, LaBoy, Jordan, what's up, guys? All right, so biggest thing that's going on for me right now is I'm going to be moving from Denver to Silverthorne, which is just a few minutes outside Keystone. Basically going to be right at Keystone this year, moving on Friday. So just a few days away, so I'm going to be pretty busy with that this week, just getting ready to make the transition out there. Super stoked for the season. Can't wait to be riding Keystone all the time and just be closer to all the other mountains like Breck and Vale and Beaver Creek. I got my full Epic Pass this year, so unlimited days at Whistler as well as many other resorts around North America. So hoping to get up and spend a good bit of time with Kevin up in Whistler this winter, and hoping Kevin will be able to make it down to Colorado. So that's the biggest thing. As far as some other stuff that's going to be coming up, once I do make the move, I will have a little bit more time to kind of get a few more fresh videos out for you guys before the season hits. One of the biggest ones I want to do is an off-season training video. I think you guys are pretty stoked on that style of video, and I think I have some really good advice for you guys. Pretty excited to get that one out. So once I have more space and I am over in the mountains, we'll get that going. I'm gonna try to do some summer touring. I'm gonna try to get out somewhere around here in the Front Range or a little further out and find some snow. Hopefully in August still. I won't be moving till the 1st, so maybe not till September. But I see a lot of questions coming in. Thanks, guys. Keep those coming in. I'll be scrolling back up to try to check out those questions. But yeah, other than those videos coming up, I'm still putting out highlight videos on my YouTube channel, Board Archive. Haven't got as many out as I had hoped up to this point, but gonna try to ramp that up and start getting a bunch of those out for you guys, and have a ton of them done before we start really rolling out content for the next season, which I'm thinking we'll have some new content coming out to help you get ready for the season starting in October. Lots of good videos, lots of good content coming out. Also got a secret project I'm kind of keeping under wraps that'll be being released October, probably mid-October-ish. So lots of stuff coming up, guys. Yeah, so one last thing, this is a super chat. If you guys have any questions that you really want answered, you can make a small donation and it'll highlight your comment to make sure that I see it and am able to answer your question. You can also subscribe to the channel, super helpful. Like and share, really helps us out. And right next to the subscribe button, there's a little bell. If you activate that notification icon, then anytime a new video comes out or we go live, you'll get a notification, and you can make sure that you're just up to date with everything coming out on the channel. So all that stuff really helps us out. Thanks, guys. And I am gonna jump into some questions. Let's see what we got going on here. So just real quick, new question that just came through from JR Smooth. How long have you been snowboarding for? Thanks for the question, JR. Appreciate it, man. So I started snowboarding in North Carolina when I was 10 years old. This is going to be my 18th season. So I've been snowboarding for a while. Love it. Still love it. Can't wait for the next season. And yeah, 18, about to be my 18th season, man. I'm pumped. Hey, what's up, Ingmar? All right, let me scroll up a bit. I saw a bunch of questions come through, so I'm going to scroll up a good ways and see what I can find here. So Jordan Hawk, Saga gear. Not exactly sure what you want to know about Saga. I know that it's kind of viewed as a skier brand, but they totally have a snowboard team. A guy I met at Hood several years ago. His name's Corbin Clement. He used to ride for Burton. He's been with Saga as a snowboarder since the beginning. I think he was the first snowboarder they sponsored. That's a pretty cool company. They make quality stuff. And yeah, I think that it looks good too. They got a unique style, kind of skier style, but good stuff. All right, so let's see here. Mark Leatham, headed to Whistler for the first time this New Year's Eve. Would like to buy a new board. Any recommendations for all mountain to suit Whistler? Thanks for the question, man. So if you're looking for, so I was in Whistler in the wintertime for the first time this past season. And a couple things I noticed that is different from anywhere else I've ridden is the terrain is a little bit steeper. Just generally everywhere the grade's a little bit more intense than it is generally here in Colorado, and you get a mix of everything, mix of ice, rain, we got snow, sun, got a little bit of everything. So I think if you're staying out of the park, like a free ride style snowboard, something with a bit of a setback stance but still has some tail. Some boards that come to mind is like the Jones Flagship or the GNU Mule Air. Check boards like that out. I think they would serve you very well. Burton Flight Attendant, something like that. Otherwise, you could go for just kind of an all-purpose, kind of all-mountain freestyle board, which is actually something I wanted to talk about on this live stream. So that kind of flows well. Thanks for that segue. But yeah, so something that's twin or twinish, medium flexing, could be camber or rocker, depending on what your preference is. And I'll go into these boards in a little more detail here in a bit, but some boards you could look at are like the GNU Space Case, the Capita DOA, the Never Summer Prototype 2, and there's others as well, but those would all be good options as like a twinish style board. The Arbor Iguchi Pro, that could be a great one. Definitely would highly recommend the Iguchi Pro. Hope that helps, man. Have fun out in Whistler, dude. Thanks for your question. All right, guys. Floor Boydens. Hey, I've been boarding for a while now and really want to start tricks on bigger jumps, but I'm a bit scared to do so. Do you have any advice? Thanks and greetings from Belgium. Hey, man, I'm glad you're able to catch a live stream over in Belgium. That's awesome. So for jumps, you definitely want to be working your way up. You don't want to just go from like, yeah, I can jump now on this like 10-foot jump and then start hitting, 40-foot, 50-foot jumps. You kind of want to work your way up to that. The biggest thing that's going to help as far as a snowboard goes is having something with some pretty solid stability. So like mid-flexing, medium stiff flexing boards. Something that has a tail, could be a true twin, could be a directional twin. Don't really recommend free ride or directional boards for jumping, although it can be done on a free ride board. As long as you have a little bit of tail, you'll still be fine. The Ride Helix is a big standout as a real sturdy jump board for me, so you could check that guy out. Again, the Capita DOA works pretty well as a jump board. That's kind of what I would do, and then just get your mind right, man. Work your way up. Start on smaller jumps, get comfortable, get the technique right, figure out how to read speed, watch other people hitting the jumps first, and then work your way up to those big jumps, man. You got it. All right. drink some juice. Recommendations for my first binding. Just pre-ordered a Yes Basic. Awesome, dude. The Yes Basic is looking really good this year. We actually just got we got all the Yes boards into the shop I work at just this past week. The 420 powder hull is looking sweet. The standard is looking sweet. The basic. So for your first set of bindings on the basic, I would be looking at something like, you know, depending on what you want to do, if you're more of an all-mountain kind of ride with a lot of speed, you might want to look at something like the Union Atlas or the Union Force. Those are both going to be really solid bindings. I think you'd really like the Atlas. I really like that binding. Or you could go, you know, if you want something a little more surfy, a little bit more fun for the park, you could get something like these guys right here, the Union Contact or the Contact Pro. So I'd kind of look in that range, Contact Pro, or Force or Atlas. I think those would all serve you pretty well, depending on whether you're more all-mountain focused or more park focused. So hope that helps out, man. All right, let me scroll up a bit here, see if I can get to a question that I missed. Another question from JR Smooth. I think this is a good one though. So, does a snowboard have to be the same height as you? Because I'm 5'6". So you don't actually want the snowboard to be like all the way up to the top of your head. Kind of the sweet spot is kind of like right within this kind of range here, like just below the chin, up to your nose. If it's going to be more of a like free ride carving board, you know, especially at your height, you'd kind of maybe want to get closer to your nose. If it's going to be freestyle, you know, you're going to be hitting the park a lot, maybe stay closer to the chin, so you just have a little bit more maneuverability. All things being equal, like if we're talking about the same board but different sizes, the smaller board's going to be more maneuverable and it's going to be easier to control as far as like flex and pressing and that type of stuff. It'll just be a little bit easier in the park. So that's my general recommendation for sizing on snowboards. So hope that helps out, man. All right, here's an interesting question. So Chris Allen asks, hey TJ, I'll be wearing a size 14 boot when I buy my setup. How do different board profiles behavior change when on a wider board? Not a park rider at this point, all mountain at this stage. Awesome, Chris. Thanks for the question, man. So wider boards, different board profiles change when on a wider board. So, you know, if you're talking about like a rocker board or a hybrid board versus a camber board, and how having a wide version is going to affect that, pretty much, you know, anything when I'm talking about profiles in the review videos is going to hold true. You know, a rocker board versus a wide rocker board is still going to have all the same characteristics. The biggest thing when you get a wide board, especially with that large boot size, is you're not going to be getting heel and toe drag. That's kind of the biggest reason why you need to step up to a wide board when you have those large boots. Because when you start to get more aggressive with your riding, you ride with more speed, you're comfortable carving, you're going to be really laying the board out. It's going to be at a much more aggressive angle as you're cruising through the snow. And if your toes or heels are hanging off, they're going to dip into the snow and it's going to pull you down to the ground. So having a wide board is going to eliminate that and just allow you to carve much more aggressively. So that's really the big thing. It doesn't really affect the profile that much, man. All the stuff you see in the reviews still kind of holds true even if you are on a wide snowboard. Thanks for the question. All right. Sander Theorens, which kind of boots do you recommend? Traditional lace, speed lace, or boa lace? Awesome question, man. So I'm still using traditional lace boots. I ride the 32 TM2 boot, and I will be on that boot this upcoming season. It's been good to me. Been on it for 3 years. This will be season number 4 on that boot. It's my second pair. I usually get about 2 seasons out of that boot. I like the standard lace because you really have independent control over every single ring as you lace up, which is even more than like the upper lower zone control on a double boa. So I think standard lace you still get the most control as far as fit, but the double boa is super convenient. You can get it your boot really tight on the lower and upper zone independently, or have a different tightness on the lower and upper. So if you do go with a boa, I would recommend a double boa, or there are some great kind of entry-level boots that are a boa system as well. If you're just getting into it, you're looking for an entry-level boot, a single boa is going to be just fine. The speed lacing system is good. I think it's quick. It holds tight. I know Kevin had the speed lacing system on his most recent boots, and he's talked a little bit about that. And I think he was really stoked on it for a while, and then one of the laces broke on him, and I think it was like a big pain to get it switched out. So I think he's going to be switching away from the speed lace system and maybe going to a boa, back to a boa or a standard lace. But that's kind of where I stand with that. I think all of them have their ups and downs. If you're looking for quick convenience, I'd go for the boa. If you're looking for just ultimate control for fit, I'd go for the standard lace. All right. Twiggy Biggie, split board reviews, make it happen, bro. Dude, thank you. I'm glad that you're asking about split board reviews. As you can see, I got my Jones Explorer right behind me. I did just get into split boarding last year. We have the Volet Universal binding review, which that's the binding I have on there right now. My unions bolt right onto that slide plate. You can bolt any binding onto that and use it on a split board. So we got a review on that on the channel. But yeah, so I'm actually going to be getting some Union Expedition bindings, which is Union's first split board binding this season, and I plan on doing a good amount of content out in the backcountry and side country using those bindings in my split this year. So keep an eye out for that, man. It's probably going to be more late season or maybe really early season. Probably late season though, that we'll see some stuff come out on that, but it's definitely coming, man. So thanks for the question. I'm glad you're stoked on that. Alright, Bob Sanders, how do you set up your bindings? So, on all the reviews on the website, boardarchive.com, the intro at the very top underneath the video kind of talks about the style of the board. It gives my weight and my height, and it also gives my binding angles. So I typically always ride 15 degrees, negative 15 degrees for my binding angle. And unless I'm on a directional board. So if I'm on a directional shape like a carving board or a POW board, maybe I'll kick in my back foot just a little bit to negative 12 or negative 9. Typically I just go to negative 12. I've been at 15-15 for so long that even that 3-degree change is pretty noticeable for me. So that's my setup, and it's about a 21.5-inch width, varying just a little bit depending on the board. So hope that helps, man. 15-15 is really common and it works really well for me, so maybe give that a try. Alright. Oh, so actually I saw this come through. Erica Constantino with the $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Erica. I appreciate that. That really helps us out. Any of these donations are going to help pay for equipment. We got passes, travel expenses. Takes a lot of time to edit the videos and all that type of stuff. A lot of effort goes into this, and it's all for you guys. That's what motivates me. So anything you can do, whether you're using the links in the description under the video before you buy gear, or you're adding us on Patreon or doing the super chats, it all helps out a bunch. So thank you, Erica. I noticed a question didn't come through, so if you do have a question, go ahead and leave it. I'll keep an eye out for it and see if I can get to that question for you, Erica. Thank you for the super chat. Alright, Noah G. What all-mountain board would you recommend for an intermediate/beginner rider with a large boot size? Greetings from Florida. Awesome, man. Glad you could join me from Florida. One of my favorite boards that I like to recommend for people with larger boot sizes, especially in that kind of intermediate ability level. If you're looking for something versatile, which I assume you probably are, wanting something that can do a little bit of everything, is the Battalion Goliath. So check that board out. There's it's actually going for a pretty good deal on evo.com right now. So if you go to boardarchive.com/retailers, there's a link to all the retailers I'm affiliated with. You can click on any of those links before a purchase, and it helps support the channel. But there's a link to Evo there, and you can check out the Battalion Goliath. So it's a regular camber board, mid-flexing. It's got their triple base technology, so it's going to be nice and catch-free, just like the Lobster Sender, if you've seen that review video. I would check that guy out. I think it's going for like $350 right now. Normally it's like almost $550, so it's going for a pretty good deal. So I'd check that one out, man. Also, check the website for all mountain reviews. At the bottom of every review, I list a few comparable boards, so you can kind of sort through that, and maybe that'll give you some ideas on other boards to check out as well. Yo, Daniel Z, what's up, man? Glad you could make it. Good to see ya. Alright, Liga Vision. I have a GNU headspace like the one behind you right here, but I'm still scared to ride rails. Any tips? Well, why are you scared to ride rails on that board? It's a pretty soft, flexing, forgiving board. You know, great for presses, slides sideways really well, locks in really well, has that regular camber dominant profile. I assume if you are worried about hitting rails on that board, it's probably somewhat related to the magna traction, which is like a wavy edge going down the side cut of the snowboard, if any of you are unfamiliar. And basically the reason they include that is because it really bites down on ice or hard snow where you might be struggling to grip. But I will say I've ridden tons of boards with magna traction and additional contact points in the past on rails, all the boards I take through the park, and it doesn't really affect it. It's not going to make it extra catchy or anything like that. So I would just say, you know, watch the videos on the channel as far as getting your mind right, getting that confidence going, getting the skills that you need to build up to the rails you want to hit. But try not to let the magna traction or anything about the board deter you from hitting rails, because it's a very capable snowboard, great for jibbing. So yeah, you can definitely take that guy on some jibs. Check out the review video if you haven't yet. The one for the headspace turned out, it's one of my favorites. I filmed it at 120 frames per second, so there's some cool slow-mo shots in there. If you guys haven't seen that, I would check that out. Alright, I'm going to scroll up a bit. We've got tons of questions coming through. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate all the comments and questions. Give me some stuff to talk about here and hopefully help you guys out. Ooh, Bob Sanders just said the 138 centimeter lobster jib board is going for $200. That's crazy, man. That's a killer good deal. That's a really short board, but if any of you guys are around, you know, need a board that size, that's a great deal there. Alright, so I'm still scrolling here. Let's see. So Harold asks, what's my favorite set of goggles? I typically run the Dragon NFX, been on those guys for the last couple years. I am going to be switching goggles this year. I might stick with the NFX, or I might go for the APX, which is the spherical version of the NFX. But I think I'm going to stick with Dragon. They've just been really good to me, and I know next year every single goggle they put out, even their low-end goggles, is going to include their LumaLens technology, which is basically very similar to Oakley Prism or Smith Chromapop. So I'll probably be on one of those two next year. Thanks for the question, man. Alright, so I've got to scroll up every time after I answer a question because you guys are doing such a good job at commenting, which is awesome. Don't stop, but it makes me scroll back up from the bottom. So sorry if I'm spending a good bit of time scrolling here. I just, you know, want to give everyone a fair chance at getting their question answered. So find one more kind of deep in here and then maybe answer some closer to the bottom. Okay. Sorry guys, man, there's just so many questions. It's like, it's really hard to pick. So, Seen a lot of questions about powder boards and what my favorite powder board is. I do have a category on the website, SnowboardProCamp.com, that kind of goes through the powder boards I've been able to ride up to this point, so maybe check that out. I haven't ridden a whole lot of powder boards, but I think, you know, if you are going to go for a pow board, go for a pure pow board. Make sure it has a really just go all the way and get one with one of the really short tails, like the Yes 420 that Kevin uses, the Burton Fish, the Jones Hovercraft, the Party Platter or Ride War Pig could also be good options. But I'm not going to recommend anyone in particular right now, man. Thanks for the question, though. All right, Andrew 93. If I really like rocker snowboards but also want to ride a bit more aggressive from time to time, would the Ride Machete be suited for that? Yeah, I mean, so, you know, when flat camber first started to come out, a lot of people were saying, like, you know, it's the happy medium between rocker and camber. I don't necessarily agree with that. I feel like flat camber boards, I mean, you have a lot of contact. The whole board is in contact with the snow, so it's good board feel. It's going to be, they tend to be better suited for rail riding, just because you get, it's really easy to lock into the rail features. But they tend to not have so much pop, similar to rocker boards. So the Machete does a good job about adding a lot of carbon in that board, so it still winds up being nice and poppy. It carves well. It's got a pretty fun side cut. I would check out the video and written review on the channel, man, if you haven't yet, or on SnowboardProCamp.com. But if you wanna carve, you know, have an aggressive carving snowboard, you definitely want to go for camber. If you really like rocker, you could stick with rocker, but just get something that's a little bit stiffer flexing. The Libtech Travis Rice Pro HP comes to mind. We've got a review on the channel and on SnowboardProCamp.com on that one. But that's going to help you out, giving you a little more stability. Just go for a little bit stiffer of a snowboard. All right, so we have a super chat coming through from Erica Constantino. Thank you so much, Erica. All right, I want to buy a new snowboard, but the measurement online are a bit confusing. Is it better to go to a store instead of buying online? Well, I would say, you know, that's kind of, you know, what I'm here for. If you have any particular questions, you can always shoot me an email, hit me up on Instagram, ask it in the live chat. I'm happy to answer all your questions. There's a bit of a trade-off. So when you go to your local store, which I definitely recommend, you know, supporting your local store, but, you know, depending on how that company runs their store, just there's so many shops. The selection's always going to be more limited. You know, there's only so many boards they're going to have in the shop. So, you know, a lot of times, like, I'm really glad Evo doesn't do this, and we have the whole website to work with as well if we don't have the perfect board in the store. But a lot of guys, you know, they're there to make sales. So they're going to try to get you to walk out the door with a board that they have in the store and get that sale. So I would hate for you to go to your shop and then walk out with a board that isn't maybe the best option for you, just because you are limited to the selection that they have in the store. But I will say, if you do go to a shop, just make sure they know what they're talking about. Ask them some challenging questions. Make sure you get all your questions answered. Make sure that they know what they're talking about, and they're giving you a good recommendation. If they can do that, you feel confident in it, definitely I would trust your local shop. They're gonna be able to sort through those numbers with you. But Erica, if you don't mind, what measurements were confusing you? Because that could be a good opportunity for a video for me. So was it like the side cut or the waist width or that type of stuff, or like the effective edge, or what was the stat that was confusing you? Because I think maybe I'll do a blog post or a video on that. But yeah, that's kind of how I feel about it. And then the bonus of shopping online is you have access to pretty much every snowboard available, so you can really, as long as you kind of know what you're looking for, you'll have a much better chance at finding a great board for you, especially if you're asking, you know, getting your questions answered by me. Hopefully I can point you guys in the right direction, or my reviews will help you out on SnowboardProCamp.com as well. So you're saying the width. Yeah, so the biggest thing, you know, for you, Erica, I would imagine you probably aren't going to have that much trouble. I don't think you'd have that big of feet. Maybe you do. I don't know. But until you get up to like a US 11, you don't really need to be looking at a wide snowboard. But the waist width is going to be the width at the very middle of the board, and that's kind of the main number you want to be looking at if you're trying to figure out, you know, if your boots are going to fit on the board, or how quick it's going to be edge to edge. You know, a narrower waist width is going to make the board easier to transition, but you might be stuck with some heel or toe drag if your boots are too big. So I say generally, if you're looking for a wide board, or you have, you know, 10.5 or 11 boot or bigger, you're looking at like a 26 centimeter waist width or larger. If your boots are smaller than that, you should be fine on a regular width board. All right, lots of questions still coming in. Thanks, guys. Jonas X, quick question here. Capita DOA with Union Force or with the outer space? What do you think? I'm a little confused at your question, man. I think the Force would pair well with the DOA. Really anything like I recommended before, the Contact Pro, Force, or Atlas would all do well. The Force and Atlas are going to be a bit more rigid, a bit more all-mountain focused, kind of do it all, whereas the Contact and Contact Pro are a little more freestyle oriented. All right. Benadryl chugger. Off-season training, question mark? So I don't know if you caught it at the beginning of the live stream, but I do have plans once I get moved out to the mountains to do a video on some off-season training. I have some really good info for you guys, basically showing you how to make your own off-season snowboard trainer pretty much for free, and I think you guys are going to be really stoked on it, and it's actually going to help you out a lot. I've spent over 100 hours, hundreds of hours, I would imagine, with me and my friends in college on this thing that I'll show you guys how to make and how to use it. So hopefully that'll help. In the gym, I would say the biggest thing that's going to help you out is just getting your cardio right. So once you're out there, you're doing those long runs, you're not getting fatigued so quickly. Maybe, you know, you can do some hiking and, you know, not be tired to snowboard after that. So that's the biggest thing. I'm not really the biggest advocate of weight training for snowboarding. You know, I don't really group those two things together, man. I think training your balance and your cardio are going to be the biggest helpers for you. Gary O.S., what's your snowboard size? My favorite snowboard size is around a 154, 155 for pretty much anything that I'm going to be using in the park, or even like a carving board. If I will ride boards, you know, up to like a 59, if it's going to be like a free ride kind of carving board, yeah, like a carving board, I'd probably ideally want like a 57. Everything else I would be going for like a 54, 55, except for those boards that, you know, the volume shift, like the Ride War Pig and the K2 Party Platter, that new style of board, where you can size down and just get a really short, super easy to maneuver snowboard, and ride it at a shorter length, and it's still going to be sturdy for you. So that's kind of the sizes that I ride, man. Hope that helps. All right. So along with that, how tall am I? I'm 5 foot 10 inches. Burton Deep Thinker in the park. So the two new Burton boards are coming out this year. If you guys don't know, the Deep Thinker and the Free Thinker. The Deep Thinker is going to have a directional camber shape, and it's kind of meant, you know, for more powder. That's why it's called the Deep Thinker. Whereas the Free Thinker is more freestyle oriented. So if you were going to pick up one of those boards and you're looking for one for park, I'd recommend the Free Thinker. I was able to try it at High Cascade this summer. It's a pretty stiff, aggressive board. It's a lot of fun though. But that's my opinion on that, man. If you're going to hit park, get the Free Thinker. The Deep Thinker is going to be more for like cruising, carving, and powder. There's a huge spider crawling on the snowboard behind me. Oh, dude, you just made me look. Come on, man. You can't do that to me on a live stream. Come on. Alright. Never Summer Warlock versus the Ride Kink. Check out the reviews on the website, man. They're very different boards. They're just really different, man. The Warlock is softer. It's rockered, whereas the Kink is full camber and it's a good bit stiffer. So they're both kind of good, a good kind of do-it-all snowboard option, but they're very different. So, yeah, I would just check out the reviews, man. Hope those help you out. Pep, what's up, Pep? I remember you emailed me recently, man. Thanks for that. So, what's my opinion on asymmetrical snowboards? Great question. So, an ASYM boards, actually the headspace right here is an asymmetrical snowboard. I think they're pretty cool. After riding it for a season and riding, several other asymmetrical boards, I think that it's definitely noticeable, and it definitely does what it's intended to do, which is make you carve more aggressively with less effort on your heel side edge to balance out the feeling between carving on your heel side and on your toe side. And the reason for that is we naturally are able to create more leverage on our toe side edge. So it's aiming to kind of balance that out, and it does that very well. I will say that I'm probably not going to be on an ASYM board next year. I'm just going to do the Battalion Evil Twin, not the ASYM version. Not because I don't like ASYM, it's just I feel like it's not, it's not something that I necessarily need. I feel like I can kind of deal with that less leverage on my heel side edge, and just try a little bit harder if I want to carve harder on my heels. I don't necessarily want that quick, super fast response on the heel side. But it does work, it makes a difference, it's fun. I rode the Headspace for a year and I loved it. Rode many other ASYM boards and they're all great. Definitely makes carving, changes the experience of carving a little bit, but it's not something that you necessarily need. That's not going to be a make or break factor when you're choosing a snowboard, I would say. Thanks for the question, Pep. Appreciate it, man. Alright guys, so we've been going about 37 minutes now. I appreciate all the questions that have been coming through. I'm going to wrap this up here shortly, and maybe, I don't know, let's say like 10 more minutes or so, maybe less, maybe more. I did want to talk about some all mountain options and just kind of talk about that a little bit. That's probably one of the most popular questions that comes up as far as people trying to look for snowboards, especially people buying their first board. They're looking for something that's really versatile and is gonna pretty much be good in any condition. That's like the most common situation. Like, hey, I'm getting my first board, I want to be able to do everything. So the one key thing you got to understand, if that sounds like you, is if you want a board that can do everything, you're always going to be making some kind of compromise. There's no board that can do everything and do it perfect. But with that being said, I would kind of split the riders up into a couple categories. Those of you who know for sure you're going to be riding park and you want to ride park and kind of have that freestyle vibe to your riding, hitting side hits, popping 180s, doing butters, all that type of stuff. Definitely, going to be riding switch a decent amount of time, whether you're in the park or just cruising. There's that kind of rider, and then there's the other rider that knows, oh, hey, I'm not really riding park at all, don't really care about that. I just want something that's going to be good carving, it's going to be good cruising, it's going to be fun in the trees, it's going to be good in powder. And that's kind of the biggest thing that makes it hard, is with the powder. So if you're the freestyle guy, I would be looking at a true twin or a twinish snowboard. Some boards that come to mind are the Lobster Sender, the Arbor Brian Iguchi Pro Camber, the GNU Space Case, The Never Summer Prototype 2. There's some options for you guys, some rockered options, some cambered options. Those are all really solid snowboards. And after the live stream is over here, I'll make sure to put a link down in the description to those boards if you guys want to check those out in a little more detail. I'll have that down there for you. And for the other category, I would highly recommend, and this is something for some reason a lot of people want to stay away from, but I'm really gonna try this season to get people on this style of snowboard, and it's a directional shape. Directional shapes are super fun, completely changes the experience of snowboarding, especially with regards to carving and powder. Even if it's just like a 3/4 inch or a 1/2 inch setback, it makes a pretty darn big difference, helping you float in powder. Typically, you might have a small taper on the nose, where the nose is a little bit wider. And that kind of helps create a side cut that's really fun for carving, good for aggressive carves. And the shorter tail also helps set a really strong edge. So a couple boards that come to mind that are that style, the Jones Flagship is one that I really like. The Nicholas Mueller GNU snowboard I really like. And the one that I tested recently that I think is a lot of fun that would fall in that category is the Ride Warpig. Super fun board, so maybe check those out. So hope that helps those of you, if you're looking for something to kind of do it all. Just understand there's a compromise, and you need to figure out if you're going to be in the park or if you're not going to be in the park, because that really opens a lot of doors for you if you know you're not going to be in the park. Alright, Flyby 130, quick question here. Prototype 2 or Funslinger? I ride the East Coast Groomers and Ice. Also enjoy cruising a tiny bit of park. Yeah, I mean, the Never Summer is going to be pretty good. They have their Vario Power Grip side cut. Definitely helps a little bit on ice. Not going to be on the same level as the Grip Tech from Arbor or Magna Traction. But yeah, I really like the Prototype 2. The Prototype 2 and the Funslinger are pretty similar, but the Prototype 2 is just a bit stiffer, a little more poppy, a little more aggressive, whereas the Funslinger is going to be a little bit better for presses and butters and like rails, I would say, whereas the Prototype 2 is going to be a little more versatile, better for jumping, but you can still have fun on rails with it. Check out the reviews, boardarchive.com. We will have a full video review for the Prototype 2 coming out this season. I already got it filmed, and I do have like a 10 tips, or I think it's 5 carves. That's the Prototype 2 video if you want to check that out. Both fun boards. So Harold, I've been seeing you asking a bunch, where's the merch? Where's the merch at, dude? Thank you for asking. I'm actually rocking a Board Archive shirt right now. It's got the logo on the back as well. So if you guys are interested in picking up some merch, we got a few different shirt designs going right now. That's going to be boardarchive.com/shop. So if you guys are interested in picking up any merch, I would really appreciate it. Again, that's another way you can help support the channel. The quality of the shirts is great. I've washed it a few times, still fits totally fine, still nice and soft. The color still looks good, so check that out. I'd be stoked if you guys were rocking some Board Archive shirts. I literally cannot wait till I see the first one out in public. It's gonna be crazy, but yeah, thanks for the support, guys. Hats not available yet. It's kind of hard to get this design on a hat since I switched distributors. The first one didn't work out, so this is from a sample run. You guys ask like every video. We'll have some hats sometime, man. I can't give you a timeline. It's just yeah, there's some technical issues with the distributor. All right, a couple more questions and then I'm gonna peace out of here, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me for this long. Tobias, how do you like the Jones Explorer? I like it, man. So I've only taken it out a handful of times, and obviously, it's a split board. So I haven't taken it out at a resort. It's all been like backcountry, side country, hike up, ski down type stuff. But it's awesome, dude. Check out the Volet Universal binding review video. I'm riding that board in that video, and it did really well. It hit some really deep powder, and it floated great. It has magnet traction. It did well on, you know, firm snow whenever I had dug through to the bottom. It's a sick board, man. It's got a sintered base. It's durable. I will keep you posted throughout the winter as I do more touring and stuff, how that board is holding up. And like I said, I'll have those Union Expedition bindings too, so I'm pretty hyped on that. Alright. See some people asking for beginner tips. Check out the videos on the channel, man. That's the best thing I can tell you. You know, over 400 videos at this point. We're bound to have multiple videos on any question you might have, so check out the channel, man. Have I ever skied in Vermont? I have. Oh, actually, I did once. I did a trip to Okemo many years ago, but that's the only resort I've ever skied in Vermont, and it was a lot of fun. That was before I rode Colorado. Have someone asking about Capita boards. I'm a fan of Capita. You know, with the mothership out in Austria, they're producing really quality boards. The graphics are dope. The products are dope. They're durable. They're a ton of fun. And I'm gonna have a bunch of reviews coming out on the Black Snowboard of Death. I'm gonna update the Capita DOA review, the Scott Stevens, the Mercury. Have a bunch of content coming out for Capita next month. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Hoping to get on like the Ultra Fear and maybe another Capita board this season as well. So lots of stuff coming from Capita. Really like that company for sure, man. Alright, I think I saw a $2 super chat come through. Let me see if I can find that one. I would hate to miss you, man. I really appreciate the super chat. Brandon Graham. Oh, just said thanks. He's sending a question via my contact form. So if you guys don't know, if you have any questions that I wasn't able to get to on the live stream, if you go to boardarchive.com/contact, or on the website in the top right corner, there's a link that'll take you to a form. You can email me directly through that form and ask me, you know, your question. I'll help you pick out the best snowboard for you at the best price online. So if you're interested in that, shoot me an email. I'll hook you up. And Brandon, I'll check later today and see if I can answer your question. Actually, I'm planning on heading over to grab some coffee with my laptop after this, and I'll be answering a bunch of emails for a few hours. So if I haven't gotten to you yet and you have sent me an email, hopefully I will get to you this afternoon. Although I will say, you guys send me a ton of emails. It's hard to get to them all, but I'm trying, all right? I'm trying. We'll get there. All right, guys, maybe one more question, and then I'm gonna get out of here. TJ, you ever come into the East Coast to board some ice with us? So, if you don't know, Matt, I actually grew up snowboarding in North Carolina, Cataloochee, Appalachian Ski Mountain, Beach Mountain, Sugar Mountain. That was my stomping grounds for many years, pretty much up until 3 years ago. But I wasn't able to get out last year. I rode a day in North Carolina 2 seasons ago. I'm hoping to get back out and ride this year. It'll be in North Carolina, probably Appalachian Ski Mountain, and I'm actually really excited about it. I really want to get out there and hopefully even film some videos while I'm there for you guys. So that'll be coming. But all right, guys, I'm gonna end it right here. Thank you guys so much for joining me. A couple of ending notes. If I wasn't able to get to your question here on the live stream, I'm not able to see your questions once the live stream is over. So if you could please leave it in the comments below after the live stream is over. I'll be looking over the comments throughout the week, and I'll try to get to your question down there in the comments. You can also reach out to me on the website. You know, make sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell so you're aware of the live stream next time it comes on, or any new video that comes out. Check out Kevin's new website, SnowboardProCamp.com. Check out the merch, boardarchive.com/shop. I'll have a link down in the description going to those all mountain boards that I was talking about in the live stream. I'll also have some other gear that I use down there and a link to the shop for you guys to check out. So give me like an hour to get the thumbnail up, get the you know, get everything done with the video. That'll be going. And the last thing I wanna say, I just want to remind you guys, you know, in all the videos that Kevin and I put on the channel, there are links in the description that show you the gear that we're using in the video, or the gear that just we use regularly. If you click those links before you make a purchase, most of them go to evo.com, but if you end up buying anything, it does give us a small commission. It helps out more than you know. It's a huge deal. And anything, you know, if you guys are making purchases online, whether, you know, I even have links going to Amazon if you shop on Amazon. It really helps out, and I would really, really appreciate it if you guys are able to use those. So thank you so much for hanging out with me. It's been awesome. You guys are the best, and I'll be back next Monday, 2 p.m. You can expect Kevin Friday, 2 p.m., and we'll see you guys soon. Hit us up on Instagram at SnowboardProCamp, at Board Archive. Awesome, guys. Thanks so much. I will see you next time. Have a great day, guys.